Hi class. So, for my book report, I had the book Acting with Adler by Joanna Rate, forward by Ellen Adler, who was actually the one and only offspring of Stella Adler. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But anyways, so Joanna Rate was actually a student of Stella Adler, and the book contains mostly of the notes that she took while under Adler's direction. So like meaning this book is written in a student perspective, I guess. Um, but to give a little background of Stella Adler, she was born in New York, being the youngest child of Sarah and Jacob Adler. She had five siblings who were all actors as well, so she basically grew up in a family of performers. So she started at a really young age and became very successful ever since, appearing in a few films, I believe, and numerous Broadway shows. She then became an acting teacher and opened her own acting school called Stella Adler Studio of Acting, which was founded in 1949, still going on today, and which are located in New York as well as Los Angeles. Okay, so onto the book itself. It contains 5 chapters: the development of the actor, the resource of the actor, action, what the actor does, characterization, who the actor becomes, and lastly, text, what the actor knows. Rate really brings this whole book together just by gathering the notes she took as well as using the thousands of pages of lesson plans that um, Adler gave her, as she says in the intro of the book. But it contains a lot of the different information, skills, techniques that Adler really, or no, sorry, Adler has taught, and Rate really gives a good sort of insight on what it was like studying with Adler. Stella Adler studied with Stanislavski, and she took what she learned from him and sort of converted and created Stanislavski's acting method into her own teachings. So, like, Stanislavski's method was more like, what if I was in the character's shoes? How would I feel? Basically, using realism, where Adler's method is more like using the most of our imagination to create our circumstances and to fully experience these emotions in something, yeah, something like that. So, going over the book itself, instead of summarizing each chapter, I kind of just wanted to go over some of the key ideas and key points that really stuck out to me throughout this whole book. And most of the things covered in the book is somewhat the things, if not basically the same as what we covered in practice in class, which was pretty cool. Okay, so first on page 62, 63, yeah, in chapter 2, it discusses the use of our imagination. So, hold on. Okay. Right. Okay, yeah, so using the imagination to give life to facts is a big secret of acting, Adler said. She, in fact, credited imagination with 9/10 of the acting. Imagination makes the actor's work honest. Without the use of imagination, words are just words, the place is no place, the objects are nothing, and the characters are nobodies, and the actor is empty. His actor, yeah, no, his acting and fabrication with no imaginations, words have a meaning, places and objects have reality, bodies have character, and the actor is replete with images and feelings, giving him the impetus to do something. With imagination, the acting proceeds from a source. So, like what we discussed in class, acting truthfully under imaginary circumstances, and I feel like this said exactly that. And I think when actors use their imagination, the performance overall might just look more natural and truthful, and just like it said in the book, making the actor's work honest rather than making it fabricated to an audience or maybe even on camera. So I thought this technique is an important one, I think, in order to make the made up situation or circumstance really come into life on stage without really overdoing it. Okay, so the next little piece of technique that stood out was also another one that we worked on in class, which was establishing the circumstances. So, okay, yeah, so to walk around the place and seeing things using our imagination, personalizing things, etc. And one sentence on page 98, okay, it reads, okay, we filter the immediate circumstances through our imagination so as to use the place in a personal way. Personalizing the circumstances helps the actor want to reach the end of his action, reveal something about the character, live in a place where things happen, take the curse, weight of importance of off the words, release to a deeper level of talent. Um, so again, I felt like this connected to what we discussed in class about taking what is happening in the situation personally and personalizing it as if it were happening to you rather than your character, which again brings out the acting truthfully under the imaginary circumstances. And just simply doing rather than think, oh, how should I respond to that? Or how would my character respond to that? And, overthinking it. So, and thinking too far ahead. So again, trying to make that performance overall more authentic for the audience and such. So that was a really great technique that I really liked and would use for myself. So I think one more that I really like was in chapter 4 on page 156. Okay. It talked about the actor remaining truthful no matter the circumstance and no matter how ridiculous the situation may seem. So one part said, okay, Adler explained that even though heightened circumstances may break all rules of logic and be downright impossible, the actor uses the circumstances as if they were possible. For example, the actor accepts that he can walk on water, eat the air, or row a boat with straws, but the actor always remains true to the nature of things and of the action, even if the situation is beyond natural. So it sums up the idea of the belief in anything and everything, even when it really may not be as nearly as possible. So I feel like in the book, Adler really emphasizes the method of using our imagination to the extent of and living truthfully under such circumstances. And I feel like she teaches that the performance that comes out of the actor really comes from the inside and from the mind itself. And I know it sounds like something people obviously know already, but it's true. It's very interesting, and to see how she sort of recreated her own acting method that was based off of method, Stanislavski's method, and with using both of their methods, I feel like it can teach a lot of actors things they never knew or knew about themselves and what they could do as actors and performers. So overall, this book I would definitely recommend for anyone who wants to build their skills as performers and who just like to get an insight of the teachings of Stella Adler, because from what I've read, it seems like Stella Adler was a highly knowledgeable instructor and a very pleasant woman using her experiences and handing it off to her students, which I thought was very cool. And most of the things she teaches, I feel like, can be very useful for actors who are looking to gain some information and inspiration, because I definitely did. So, yeah, that was kind of my thoughts and opinions on the book, and this basically concludes my report. So, thanks for listening and have a good day.